I'm Donnetta Watson. I'm the founder of the Black Mastermind Group. We are an education, coaching, mentoring, and financial initiative organization. We are committed to the success of the Black entrepreneur community. And so I wanted to make a difference in that area. Education, coaching and mentoring, and funding initiatives, working together to give an entrepreneur the tools necessary, the team necessary, and the dollars that are necessary. Every entrepreneur has an opportunity to get what they need through the Business Mastery Program, through the bridge building coaches, and through the funding initiatives. And we have a fee for those services. We wanted to make sure that access is there. And so it's going to take sponsors and scholarships and contributions from business organizations and entities to help us reach our goal and complete our mission of changing the face of the Black entrepreneur community and creating more sustainable business models.
So when I first signed up with the Black Mastermind organization, I just didn't know what to expect. So we went from operating our company as solopreneurs to now having a full-fledged team that is working in and on our business internally and externally. And so with Dr. Watson being one of my business coaches, it's really been incredible. When I first was introduced to Dr. Watson, she wasn't Dr. Watson back then. She was Donnetta Watson, and she was just on an event. And honestly, I didn't care about what they was talking about. I was just there to sell my product. I made like $300 a month. I was doing bookkeeping. I was just there to be selfish. Well, by the time I left this event, I was so overwhelmingly inspired by the business concepts that they taught that I've been coming to Dr. Watson's events ever since.
Everything that has to do with business is a financial story, a financial transaction, a financial interaction. And so we're teaching them at that level so that the next generation of entrepreneurs will be a lot stronger, more savvy, more successful than what this generation of entrepreneurs are.
I think what we miss as Black entrepreneurs is what we didn't have is anyone to teach us about business, anyone to teach us how to run a business, how to hold down a business, how to employ other people, and all of those things. And so instead of us focusing on giving them what we didn't have, why don't we get the education and then teach them what we didn't know? Because if we teach them what we didn't know, they can go out and get what we didn't have. And so I think that part of the problem is that we got to get past the just giving away and giving away and giving away. We've got to develop ourselves so that we can share that knowledge. When we do that, we're empowering the people to come behind us.
The class that we're taking is showing us like step by step how to scale our business, how to scale up in our companies.
We need education. We need training. We need coaching and mentoring. Two different things, same way. Education's one thing. Applied knowledge is training. Funding and financial strategies. We need those desperately in our community so that we can position ourselves differently as entrepreneurs.
One of the things that they show me is marketing. Oh my goodness, I didn't know anything about marketing.
Oftentimes we hear entrepreneurs say, I didn't know what I didn't know. And indeed, there's a lot we don't know. And as a result of it, it is putting us in a place where sustaining business for a long time, for a lengthy period of time, is almost impossible until we can find ways to restructure, find ways to re-educate and retrain, find coaches and mentors that understand business at that level, and then help them create funding and financial strategies that will be attractive to a lender and an investor. That's the work that we do here in the organization.
There's a formula to that. Like, I didn't know that there was a formula to marketing, you know.
We should be creating business models that people strategically go after dollars in other markets and other industries and other segments. And then we make a commitment to keep our dollars in our own community. I often say every ethnic group does it. And so we've got to learn those secrets of how to not just sustain ourselves, but to sustain our community.
We have a responsibility when we are empowered, to empower others and to raise up others and to bring other people along, because we're not getting all this empowerment and all this transformation just for ourselves and just for us to look good and just for us to be out in front and people to, praise us and what we're doing and celebrate us. It's designed for us to help to transform other people's lives.
There's rules to this whole game, and we're trying to teach our community the rules and educate our community on the things that they are not aware of. Several of the things that is causing us great challenges, and now it's being documented, the educational attainment. That's our level of business knowledge, our acumen, our ability, our aptitude in business is looked at as a factor whether or not we are considered fundable.
And so I think that's one of the focuses that's one of the shifts we have to create in our focus, is really learning as much as we can about business strategies, about marketing, about collaborating, about partnering and strategic partnerships, and then teaching the next group how to do that already so that they grow up thinking this is just automatic. And that's why I love what you're doing with the Black Mastermind Group. We're empowering people to understand at a different level so they can pass on that knowledge.
I want to be clear on what type of help that we're going to be able to provide and how you might play a part in being part of the help. You see, we are using government dollars to train entrepreneurs. I've got a program going on right now that the state of Kansas has provided a scholarship for me to take individuals in the state of Kansas, in the city of Kansas City, through a boot camp. Now, what they've decided to do was to put up the dollars, not 100%, but over 75% of the cost they're covering for 10 people to get in a class. Well, that's what we're going to do on a larger scale across every city that we have an affiliate group. We're looking to put 10 people in the seat in Kansas City to go through our 6-month business mastery program. 10 people in Kansas City, 10 entrepreneurs in Dallas, 10 in Houston, 10 in Cincinnati, Ohio, 10 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, 10 entrepreneurs in Hampton Roads, 10 in the DC area, 10 in Atlanta. That's our mission, is to find the dollars and contributors and sponsors and grants that we can train our community.
All right, Dr. Watson, I got it. What are you doing now? I employ people. I'm good. She was like, great, Star. There's another level. And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought I was at the top. She was like, you are. You're doing a great job. But now there's another level to get to. And so now we're rising to the next level. She's absolutely mentoring us in our company. Now we have managers in place. Now we're providing careers. Now we're not just providing jobs, but now we're providing careers for different people, and that's really exciting. So thank you.
And that's something that we're here to help address. Making available to our community one of my ebooks, The Road to Success, what entrepreneurs need on the road to success. And those 6 critical factors is what we need.
Hello, my name is Christopher Letzinger, and I am the owner of LaCree Fine Jewelers. I've been in business for 2 years. I am the Assistant Director of the Government Contracting for the Black Mastermind Group. My experience in the Business Mastery Program has been phenomenal. It has taught me how to really look at my business, understand my numbers, how to project out, and really take my business to the next level. Thank you.
We have been charged to lead not just our own businesses. Oftentimes as entrepreneurs, it's very easy to focus on ourselves, to focus on our bottom line, to get so caught up in just hanging out with those few people that we forget the impact that we're called to make on our communities.
Well, hello, everyone. You just watched our amazing video of our organization and the people that are connected to our organization. And I thank this great network for making this available to you and providing this opportunity for us in the Black Mastermind Group to share with you more about who we are and what we are doing, not planning to do, but what we are doing for the Black entrepreneurial community around the globe. And we're grateful to be a voice speaking to you tonight, not just an echo, we are a voice. And what we have to share to our community, we believe it is life changing and business altering. And we believe we have some answers that will help move the Black entrepreneurial community to the next level. And so, for those of you, this is our second show. And for those who don't know me and don't know who I am Dr. Donnetta Watson. I am the founder and the CEO and the board president of the Black Mastermind Group. We are a charitable foundation. So what's a charitable foundation? Well, our organization raised money to turn around and give it away. And how we give it away is through training entrepreneurs that are not able to pay their own way through getting educated as necessary to run businesses today. We find the dollars to put Black entrepreneurs in our training program. Our core mission is to educate, train, coach, mentor, and develop the Black entrepreneurial community. And so when we say we educate, we provide insight into how entrepreneurs should run their businesses. We call that entrepreneurial financial literacy. We teach entrepreneurs how to run their business from a financial perspective, that everything that they do, the decisions that they make are strictly financial decisions. And we spend a lot of time demonstrating to our community how we should run a business by the numbers. Every decision in business is a financial decision, and making sure you're aware of your numbers in business helps you to make wiser decisions. We train our community on concepts and techniques that they can go back to their business and apply them. That's the level of training that we provide to our community. We coach our entrepreneurs through our Bridge Builder Coach program. Coaches work with the entrepreneurs every step of the way while they're in our program. And I want to back up for just a moment because I want to speak on the education and training component again. We have the organization, the Business Mastery Institute. And what it is our training program. We provide 8 weeks of really extremely, and I'm not lying to you guys, extremely intensive business training. That's why it's called a boot camp. So we often tell the students, go put your workout clothes on, your sweatbands on your wrist, and your headband on your hair, because you're going to really get a workout. And our boot camp program is just 8 weeks long. So we hit it and we move on in the techniques of operations and organizational strategies, marketing and sales strategies, financial strategies, and most important, funding strategies, how to be a fundable business endeavor, and the right road you should take in acquiring or accessing capital for your business. And the most important thing is that all we do, everything that we do, is to get our entrepreneurs in the seat before a lender. So we now have funding initiatives. I can't wait to be able to share more about the dollars that have been made available that we can lend to our community. A little premature, can't give too much more details than that. But I'm excited and so looking forward to being able to come and share the model that's being created, that we can also have that model in your city as we grow our organization across the nation. So now that's our education, that's our training, the Business Mastery Institute, the boot camp program. But we have a second tier program. And oftentimes when individuals finish the boot camp, the first thing they say is, I need more training. because the boot camp's not there to give you a full body makeover. It's just there to get you headed in the right direction. And then our Launchpad program is a 4-month program. And that program is designed to get you deeply immersed in understanding business systems, hiring systems, and strategies you need to really create a company, not a business, to develop a corporate structure, not a hookup, hobby, or hustle, but a real organization. Then our third program that we offer is the Millionaire Masterclass program. It's actually the Millionaire Mastermind program. And that helps us to prepare entrepreneurs who are serious about becoming 7-figure entrepreneurs, headed down the right direction. Very intensive financial program dealing with strategies that you would use to protect what you have created. So there's next level business strategies that we've not been able to train our community on because we're covering the basics in our boot camp and we're establishing principles in the Launchpad. But in the Millionaire Mastermind program, you're going to really learn about asset protection. You're going to learn about funding and investment strategies. You're going to learn about the different types of business strategies after an S Corp or C Corp, and things that our wealthy business owners and politicians and officials, how they are able to maintain wealth through the utilizations of a trust. And so we get real deep into that program because you got assets to protect if you're on the journey to becoming a 7-figure business operator. You can't play games. You got to have all of your things aligned correctly to maintain what you've been able to create. And so we educate, train entrepreneurs to be on that pathway of wealth and legacy generation in their business. And so all of this is what we do in education. And then we have our Bridge Builder Coach program. And in our Bridge Builder coaching program, we work with entrepreneurs that are in our boot camp, Launchpad, Millionaire Mastermind group to make sure they're implementing the strategies. So our coaches are people who are trained to coach the entrepreneur into implementing the strategies. It's not good enough to teach people. You got to be able to help them implement the strategies on their business. And so when we teach entrepreneurs in the classroom environment, we then work with them one-on-one. Every entrepreneur that goes through any of our programs are assigned a coach. It's too critical to leave them up to chance that they really get it and they can really apply knowledge. We do a lot of transferring of knowledge, a lot of information out there. We're on information overload. This generation, they can learn a lot, but they can't do anything with what they learn because they're only surface learners. They really never begin to apply what they've learned. So they're very intelligent learners, very capable of absorbing a lot of information, but application of what you learn is what we're working toward. So we want to make sure that everybody can apply the financial equations necessary to know exactly where you're at in your business at all times. And then we have a mentor program. When the entrepreneurs graduate from our programs, they're required to sit before mentors, financial accountability, because oftentimes what lenders are very uncomfortable about funding business models is when the entrepreneur doesn't have experience managing financials at that level. And so if you've never had a job where you've been responsible for a budget of over $50,000, it's going to be difficult for a lender to make the decision to give you $100,000. If you've never had a personal income of over $50,000 or over $100,000, it's very difficult for a lender to loan you $50,000 to $100,000 because you have no history of managing money at that level. But if you have a history in the business of managing revenues in that area, then it's not as hard to see that you have some capacity, capability, skills, knowledge, background in what to do with money. And our first problem we want to correct is when you're running the business, all of the revenues generated by the business belong to the business, not your money. It's not yours to spend. It's the business revenue that it generated. And as a result of the business generating revenue, the money goes into the business bank account. So you must have your correct structure in your business to access funding. And so as we prepare people to be fundable, we teach them how they must structure the business and the necessary things they must have in place. So I have the privilege of being in the seat with a lending organization and learning what lenders are looking at, what they're looking for to make a decision if this entity is eligible for funding, qualify for funding. And oftentimes when a loan is denied, lending institutions can't tell you why. They can't tell you go back to that page and correct that or adjust your numbers just a little bit and you would qualify for funding, where they're not allowed to do that. So I'm not in the seat of being a direct lender anymore. So I'm in the seat now of giving you the 411, telling you all the secrets that you're not supposed to know so that you can create a business model that's fundable, able to access capital. And so we're putting all of these things before our community that have never been made available till now. See, all our other communities of entrepreneurs know this, especially our white counterparts. They're further ahead in business because at their dinner tables, they talked business. They spent time in their uncle's business, their cousin's business, their father's business. So they have a different pathway for business and they start out learning things at a different level than we do. And so because of that, they've had a head start, years of a head start, and we're trying to catch up. And so we want to make sure that we are evening the playing field and giving our entrepreneurs insight into things that aren't really available to them. Oftentimes, like you heard on the video, our entrepreneurs say, you don't know what you don't know until somebody tells you. And then when you know, then you do better. We do better when we know better. And that's just a God awesome truth. We actually will have the opportunity to do better in business because we're going to know what to do in business. And so that's what we do in the arena of education, training, coaching, mentorship, development. And that's where we're going to spend a little time today on the issue of development. We do mindset development. Mindset now has become a phrase that people are using, but it's been around for a long time. It's just that we in the Black community, we're predominantly Christian-based people. And for a very long time, the Christian churches had an issue with dealing with the mind. And anything that dealt with the mind became taboo because, of course, there were people misusing the skills and the techniques of mind development and understanding the brain and how the subconscious and the conscious mind works. And so people were actually manipulating people and mind altering people. And because of that, the church threw the baby and the bathwater out in its efforts to teach people how not to get caught up into transcendental meditation and not to get caught up into mind alterations and not to be used and abused with mind altering techniques, which is still prevalent today. So because of it, it even took the good things away from people, the things that we should be doing, because we're trauma-based people. On average, the Black community is still reeling from slavery, and our DNA is predisposed for trauma, drama, struggle, pain. And all of that is inside of every last one of us because of our history and that genetic makeup, predisposition is inside of all of us. And because we are still struggling with slavery, it is having still some residual effects on us as a people. And we operate from a place of trauma. Predominantly, we operate from a place of pain. And so the Black community as a whole is still needing healing. The Black community as a whole is still needing emotional and mental care because of the pain of our past has not been reckoned with. And the pain of the past has been passed down from generation to generation, and to where even in this technological era, we still find emotional trauma, pain, anguish prominently in our community. And so we start life in a situation of lack and poverty, and we grow up in adverse situations and adverse communities where there's still a lot of drama and trauma and pain and anguish. And then we get married and we bring all of that drama and trauma and anguish into our marriages. Then we start businesses and we're not whole, we're not healed. And we have all of these paradigms that need to be shifted. We have all of these mindset, predetermined thought processes on how things should be for us as Black people. You know, we quite often hear from our students that their families will say to them, "Who do you think you are? You're trying to be better than us." Everybody should want to do better. Everybody should want their families to do better. But oftentimes, because of trauma, pain, and drama, we can't help each other become better. Instead, we pull each other down because we don't want you to get beyond how we can perceive you. If you change and become someone different, then I can't identify with you. And it's uncomfortable for me when you grow. It's uncomfortable for me when you change. It's uncomfortable for me. Why? Because that person becomes a mirror to you. If they were able to get out of the rat race or out of the bucket of despair, then every time you see them, you have to reckon with the fact that you didn't get out. You chose not to get out. And so we rather hold everybody down than to try to get up and lead everybody out. And that's a mindset that comes from trauma, drama, emotional pain, and scars that are handed down from generation to generation. Now, I have to be real honest to you. The pain is real. The drama's real. The things that cause the pain, real. Racism has been a huge detriment to our community. Hatred perpetrated toward Black people has had a huge impact on us as people. There is not a Black person today that does not have the ability to tell a story about a racist encounter. I can tell you one myself when I went off to college, and I was the only Black person on my dorm floor. And they put me in a room with a young white female from a small town in Kansas. And when they were gone when I arrived on campus, so I set out my pictures of At that time, my husband, and we were dating back then. And so I put his picture out and I put my stuff in the room, and I went to get something to eat with my family. And when I got back to campus, that young lady's father had an absolute conniption fit and wanted to know, why did they put that nigger in the room with my daughter? Sorry for you, those of you who can't handle that word, but that's what he said about me. I can say it because that was what he was saying about me. And he made such a huge ruckus on campus that when I made it back, everybody was looking at me because of what that man said about me. And so he moved his daughter, not just out of the room with me, he moved her out of the dorm. See, he was a financial contributor to the college, and a big one. And he was appalled that they put a Black person in the room with his daughter. And so I spent my time that semester in that dorm by myself because they wouldn't put anybody else in the room with me. That's college experience for an 18-year-old. First time away from home on my own. And that was my introduction to a world that I had not been privy to. How much white people hated Black people. And then to be on the college campus and be told that I wasn't college material and I needed to go home. And I did not belong there. Well, I believed the lie and I came home because I was so shy and insecure as a child that counselor that was supposed to be helping me with my direction in college told me repeatedly every time I came for help that I didn't belong there and I wasn't college material. And so in the western part of Kansas, Black people got that all the time. Cars would ride by us and say, niggas, go home. They would throw stuff at us. This was I can't tell y'all when that was because I don't want y'all to know how old I am. But that was in that time when it shouldn't have been happening. One of these days, I'll tell y'all my little secrets. But this one I'm going to keep. But it was something that was very traumatic for me. Now, I could have stayed in that place of pain. I could have felt forever that I wasn't college material and I didn't belong in college and I didn't have a right to be there. And so consequently, I wasn't smart enough to be in college. So when I got home, I got married and had children, and I knew that I was smarter than that. I did really good in school. But when I got to college, it was a whole nother level of intelligent, bright kids. And it was a little bit of a struggle. The struggle was the transition from being in an environment where I was the only Black person in a lot of my classrooms of 200 and 300 kids. I'm the only Black person. Oftentimes, it was myself and one other young Black gentleman that went to high school with me. We would be the only two Black people in classrooms of 200 and 300. So I can tell you about drama, trauma, and pain. I can give you all of the stories. There's a lot more to the story. I just gave y'all the pretty parts. But I chose not to allow myself to be defined when I became mature enough to make my own decisions and change what people had told me about me. I set on a course to get what was due me, the education that was due. So I got straight A's from my bachelor's program, my associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree. I got 1 B. And all I kept saying was they said I wasn't college material. They said I didn't belong in college. They lied. Now, how many more lies have been told to our people that they can't learn, they can't do this? And how many of those lies do we tell ourselves and everybody around us? Girl, you better not do that. Who do you think you are? You can't do that. You can't, girl, that's for white people. That's not for Black people. Do you know we still say that to each other? I hear that stuff today. I've heard people say about me, you live like a white person. I'm like, is there white and Black breath and life? Is it a difference? So we ourselves have not only allowed other people to stigmatize us, we do it to each other. because we come from a place of brokenness, pain, anguish, trauma, and drama. And we will never be successful in life in anything that we do if we don't address that underlying current that is running rampant down the streets and of every Black community. Trauma, drama, and pain and anguish, misery, poverty, crime in our urban cores running rampant. And it's because of mindset. So we have to start in that place of changing what we think about ourselves, killing that that negative self-talk, releasing ourselves from the prison we put ourselves in our minds, and getting us in a position to step into the whole concept of thinking and growing rich. So the work we do is to get us mentally in alignment so that we don't have to work like slaves to manifest results. Because I guarantee you, success is not equated to how hard you work and how long you work. Success is attracted to people who are attractive to it. And once we get to working on alignment of this mindset, things begin to happen in the lives of people that they couldn't make happen on their own if they prayed and paid somebody to do it. Why? Because opportunities are around us each and every day. There are an abundance of opportunities, but when we are not properly aligned, opportunities are not attractive, are not attracted to us because we're not attractive. When we're operating from a place of confusion, anger, bitterness, unforgiveness, resentfulness, vindictiveness, when we are operating from that place, success doesn't like that place. Success doesn't walk with those types of mindset issues. And so success eludes us. And when I began to study Think and Grow Rich and really begin to listen to Napoleon Hill's, the old messages on YouTube, I'm going to challenge you all, spend time, because as I was, he had nothing in there was race identified, ethnicity identified. It was just the spiritual philosophies of life. These spiritual philosophies that govern success. Those philosophies that he presents in his videos, as I listened to them, I realized, OMG, that's the Black community. That's us as a people. That's why success has eluded us, because we operate from a place that success is not attractive to. And as well, because money also is spiritual, money also is energy. We can attract into our lives the things that we need, the money that we need, because we're not attractive to money. Now, I might make a whole lot of people mad, but I love it when you get mad, because then you got to think. And I often pray that when you get mad and you go to sleep, that God begins to deal with you through the night, and your subconscious mind begins to do the work to expose to you the reality of these things that are impacting us as a race of people. And until we deal with our mindset, and until we deal with our alignment, now I'm not talking religion, I'm not talking church. I've been in church my whole life, but I understand the spiritual elements that govern life, the laws that, even though we're not aware of them, when we violate them, we still get the recompense of the violation. So what that means is, if you're caught speeding and no speed sign is up telling you what the speed limit is in the area, and the officer pulls you over and say, you were going 45 in a 30, and you say, well, there's no sign saying this was a 30-mile-an-hour zone. He said, doesn't have to be. You get a ticket. Same thing applies to our lives from a spiritual perspective. Just because we don't know all the laws doesn't elude us from the actions that happen as a result of violating the laws. So ignorance is only 5/10 of the law. You're still held accountable for the law, even when you didn't know the law existed. Same way in the spiritual world. When you violate spiritual laws, you have to pay the penalty for the violation, whether you knew you broke it or not. And I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, as a culture of people, we've been violating a lot of spiritual laws. And until we get that thing, that issue of racism and the bitterness and the anger that has been spewed down from generation to generation as a result of slavery and racism and Jim Crow, and now all the drama and the trauma that has been happening in the disparities against Black people in healthcare, disparities in business, disparity in access, disparity in treatment, disparity in the legal system, disparities in the prison system, all of these things that have been set to trap us and cause us to shift out of that place of success. We've got to work very hard to not allow external circumstances to dictate the internal place where we dwell, because it is the internal place where we dwell that is giving us the ability to move into these different places of success, levels of success in our personal lives and in our businesses. And so I really want us to get this. And I pray that I haven't been too deep, because Dr. Watson can go real deep. When we get to talking about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and the fact that most of what we do is governed by the subconscious mind, not our conscious mind. We do things on autopilot. We live predominantly on autopilot. And because the subconscious mind is built around repeated patterns of activities and actions and reactions, we live on this vicious cycle of actions and reactions in a non-conscious way. We go about life. And because our brain is wired to link together sequences of actions, we find ourselves saying and doing things sequentially without any thought put to it. That's the subconscious mind at work. And that subconscious mind keeps us locked into this paradigm, this thought process, this life cycle that we can't get out of in and of ourselves. And so when I said earlier that unfortunately the church threw the baby and the bathwater out, because there is a desperate need for mental healing and mindset changes and readjustments in the Black community. And if you're listening to me, whether you agree or not, it is quite evident something's wrong. I'm just going to let that marinate for just a moment. Whether you agree with me or not, if you look over our community, you'll see if 16, 17, 18-year-olds are shooting in the head other 16, 17, 18-year-olds and going to school the next day and sitting in the classroom and climbing in their bed at home and no remorse. Something's wrong. And people are stealing from one another and destroying other people's property and thinking absolutely nothing of it, something's wrong. And so statistics tell that unfortunately, our community commits more crimes in based on the percentage of Black people in the country. We commit more crimes than any other ethnic group based on our population size. And those are the things that are of great concern if we really stopped and looked at the situation. Something is desperately wrong. So I'm not going to get into any deep debates with anybody. If you hear what I say and you don't agree, everybody's entitled to their own opinions. I just spend a lot of time studying and watching and reading. So I don't give a lot of opinions. I try to bring information that is already out there, but somehow has missed us as a people. So here we are at a point in time where we can begin to work to change some of the situations that are impacting us. But it starts with our willingness to address our own drama, trauma, and pain, get the emotional healing that we need, and the mental release that we need from all of the stress. And then we can begin to put the right mindset tools so that we can begin to think right, speak right, and manifest what we desire in our life as a result of how we think. Yes, we can think and grow rich. We can put our mental energy toward manifesting the things we desire because our brain is a magnet. When we put our time and energy and attention and focus toward what we desire, our brain has the ability to magnetize it, bring it into our lives. I know some of y'all probably ain't heard this kind of stuff before, but it's true. That's just like you say a certain type of car you like. And when you go look at the car lot and you test drive it and you say, I really like that car. Oh, I really like that car. And as a result of you saying, oh, how much you like that car, and one day you're going to have that car, every place you go, you see that car. Every day, every journey, you say, my goodness, everywhere I look, everywhere I turn, there's that car. You know why? You're manifesting it into your life through your visual sphere. You now see it everywhere you go. And it reinforces it in your life when you say over and over again, that's that car I like. That's that car I want. You're putting the energy, you're releasing energy. Spoken word is energy. You're releasing energy into the atmosphere, and based on how determined you are to have it, you begin to manifest it. That's thinking and growing rich. And so we take the same principle and we apply it to your business. And we teach you that you have been called to be an entrepreneur. You didn't just wake up in the middle of the night one day and say, I'm going to start a business. No, you don't have that much power. You had this down in your being. It was the reason you were allowed to be born, the reason you were conceived in your mother's womb was for you to fulfill this very assignment that is your purpose for living. We all have one. Some folks haven't never tried to find it, but those of us who have asked the question, why am I here? And the part two of the question, what am I supposed to do? When you get serious about life and you start asking yourself and you start asking God, why am I here and what am I supposed to do? Then you begin to seek and search what that purpose is. And when you find it and you begin to move into it and you begin to make that your ultimate focus in life to become successful at it, everything becomes in alignment toward it. and things begin to manifest. They begin to happen in your life. And so every entrepreneur that's come into our program, we begin to remind them of who they are. You're a king. You were called to be an entrepreneur. And a king has a responsibility to the people they've been assigned to govern over them, to provide opportunities for them. Those are jobs. And so we deal with that too, because 94% of Black entrepreneurs do not employ anyone. And that's why we have unemployment. That's why we have poverty. That's why we have crime. That's Dr. Watson's philosophy. And I'm sure statistics will prove it out. That the conditions of our community is because Black people don't hire Black people. White people hire white people. Asian people hire Asians. Hispanics hire Hispanics. Jewish people hire Jewish. Middle Easterners hire Middle Easterners, but Black people hire no one. And nobody's going to give us an opportunity other than our own people. At least no one really cares about Black people having opportunities. It should be on the heart of every Black entrepreneur to provide opportunities for Black people in their community. But that's a whole nother lesson we teach. So as we move forward, we want to make sure that not only are we talking about making money, because making money is a byproduct of alignment. Making money is a byproduct of being committed to your calling, your passion, your gifting, the talents that you have. Making money comes as a result of you operating in the core essence of who you were created to be. And finding that out is how we start. And once we get you realizing how amazing, incredible, gifted, talented you are, then we can teach you how to make money. And we can lead you on the pathway of great success, because we shift you from thinking it belongs to everybody else to teaching you how much it belongs to you. And many of us have never been told that success belongs to us. It's not just for white people. Wealth belongs to us. It's not just for white people. Living a healthy life and enjoying the fruit of your labor, it's not just for white people, it's for us. Having a business that pays you a salary compatible to what a CEO of a Fortune 500 company earns, it belongs to you, entrepreneur. It's not just for white people. And when we shift your mindset and how you think and what you say and what you believe in your heart, when we can get the three of those gates aligned properly, those gates that open up success or open up trauma, drama, when we get them properly aligned, that what you think produces what comes out of your mouth, and it resonates in your heart and you begin to believe it. When we get that aligned, that success belongs to you, we can teach you anything after that. I can teach you statistics. I can teach you how to do financial equations. I can teach you how to do balance sheets. I can teach you how to analyze cash flow statements. I can teach you the things you need to know, break-even analysis. Oh, those dreaded ratios. I learned them, but I'm not going to teach them to you because you, at that level in business, you don't need them. And don't ask me what they are because you really don't need them. At some point in time you do, but not at basic business. But I can teach you these things when we get your heart, your head, your mouth, and your heart in alignment. And we've erased the scars and the drama and the trauma of the past, and you can see that your future indeed is bright. And that wealth belongs to you. Success is on your journey, and we teach you how to be committed to your purpose, not being a jack of all trade and a master of nothing, but completely committed to the thing that you've been called to do. That one thing, not 10, not 5, all you people out there, I do this, and oh, by the way, I do that too, and oh yeah, I got that business too, and oh yeah, I do that too. That's schizophrenia. When we teach you to know who you are and what you've been called to do, and you put your whole focus toward it, that single one thing that you've been given to do that manifests wealth in your life and moves your family to a whole other level, then we teach you how to open up revenue streams that you can serve your customers well, your core customers from that core business model. Not them 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 businesses you run. That one thing that you've done successfully, that one thing that you can manifest wealth, that one thing that becomes your legacy. Then we teach you how to grow that thing and how to introduce new opportunities for your customers to engage with your business and produce wealth at a level that you've never seen before. Well, guys, I have to, oh my goodness, I didn't even get through all my whole pages of notes. So I just stopped at the mindset. So how do you want to know more about us? Go to our website, theblackmastermindgroup.com. Get the free ebook, join our online community. We'll be putting out more information in the days to come about the boot camp classes. We provide all kinds of opportunities for you to get in a seat, but you've got to do the interview. You've got to put your name on the list to get the scholarship so you can get in the seat and get the training necessary for you to manifest wealth, for you to be on a whole different journey in life, for you to be able to impact your community and create opportunities for other people and have a successful, wealthy, legacy-based business model, ones that we haven't seen very often in our community. Well, it's time for change. And the Black Mastermind Group, the Business Mastery Institute, and the Bridge Builder Coach Program is those 3 resources that's going to help make this possible to impact our community one business at a time. And if you want to know why we do this, we just want to see us win in business. It's high time that we did. So go to theblackmastermindgroup.com. Oh, in our last minutes, join us Sunday, this coming Sunday, April 18th at 2:30 p.m. Central Time for our quarterly seminar session where we dig deep into mindset. We have amazing speakers come and enrich our community. Join us, be there, go to our website, purchase your tickets, but most importantly, get on the list so that you can experience everything that you need to create a sustainable wealth and legacy-based business model. It's not impossible, and it's not difficult. When you've been given the keys that unlock all of these mystery doors that have been hidden from us for so long, you'll see amazing things begin to happen in your life and in your business. I'm Dr. Donnetta Watson, founder and president, CEO of the Black Mastermind Group. We love to see you on this journey. Please join us at the Black Mastermind Group. Thank you, and I will see you again next Wednesday.